Hello, all you hardcores. Russ here from Poker's Corner, and still, the biggest gob in sport. Today we're joined by Ryan from over Lancashire way. We should be clicking on any minute. I think we're going to let rip today. There you go. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm fantastic, mate. How are you? You all right?
All right, mate. Yeah, what you on with?
Grafting, mate. Just working. Just nipped out for half an hour, 45 minutes to jump on this for you, mate. You know
Good
the
man.
dance.
Okay, well, let's get stuck straight in. Big story at the moment, trending story. The lazy Rhino against Elmer Fudd. What do you make of it all now? You've had time to look at it from beginning to end.
I think flukes can happen in any sport, mate. And Dave Allen landed a fluky punch. I think Johnny Fisher is one of the most underrated boxers from a technical perspective. I mean, what he was doing out there was phenomenal for the first four rounds, mate. You know, the holding of the arm out,
Yeah.
Vitaly Klitschko style, it was outstanding. Well, what are your thoughts, mate?
Well, I think that Fisher's still raw, and there's a lot of work to do with him with Mark Tibbs now. People can be critical of Mark Tibbs, but he's on it training. He's not the manager. He won't make the fights. He'll only advise them, won't he? But if he's filled his boots and got a few quid out of job, good luck to him. But as I look at it, it reminds me of that Misfits thing that Mark got involved in. Or what it's some porn star or something he were training. Now,
Uh, I was joking, by the way.
I know you were,
Fisher
yeah,
was
but I'm not.
bollocks.
I'm not jumping up to Mark Tibbs' defence here. But he could look at it. I see Terry critical yesterday about Mark Tibbs, but look at it like this, and I'm not going into bat for him. Mark Tibbs might have looked at him, right, and thought, God, well, he's a lot of work to be done here. He's raw as out, coming from a rugby for the sport, a bit like Max, he's from rugby.
Yeah, yeah.
And Eddie could have said, "Look, we're just going to pinch a few quid here. He does loads of tickets, blah de blah, and let's just style it out and see what we can get out of the job." And then they're doing press conferences, going saying, "Show me the money" and all that. I don't agree with that. I think Mark let his son down there. But as regards what's going on behind the scenes, they all probably know that Fisher's not that brilliant, but it's all
Yeah.
about getting paid. It's a business and hoodwinking the fans. Now, Fisher's ended up with an area belt along the line, and Allen's knocked him out. So, what level is Allen at? Is he area stroke English now? He is, isn't he? Because that's his best win, isn't it?
Yeah, that is his best. It's pretty mad to see that people had put him in position for a British title. He
People
beat Johnny
talking
Fisher.
AJ fights and Dylan White. That's
He's
where
beat
it's
Johnny
at,
Fisher.
eh?
He's beat Johnny Fisher. He beat fucking no one. Like,
He's beat a
yeah,
gimmick who played a bit of rugby, and people are losing their mind on social media because social media is a power unto itself. You could have all ability in the world. You could have reflexes like Roy Jones. You could do turtle shell like Mayweather and James Toney put together in one. You could
yeah,
punch as hard as Frank Bruno and Ernie Shavers, but if you've no social media presence, you're not going anywhere. Rhino grafts his hardest on his YouTube channel. He's always reinventing himself. He gets it. But he's walking around with a big beer belly hanging out, making sport look stupid. He's not putting no effort in training. Don't tell me he's had an hard training camp, 19 stone. Please, don't tell me. I've known
no,
him years.
no, he's
Known him
not.
years. That's the heaviest he's ever been.
He knew what he was doing in there. I mean, you could see from the
Of course
third
he did. He's
round.
sparred Fisher. He knows he's garbage.
Easy work.
Like taking candy off a baby.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
Do you know what I mean? But do you think they'll have a trilogy yet, Ryan?
They shouldn't do, mate. They shouldn't do. But I do
Contract.
think it's on the card. Yeah, I think it probably will happen. But that will end within two rounds, and it will end as decisively as it did the first time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, where would you go with Johnny Fisher though? Because that is someone who cannot beat anyone who understands how to tuck away for a couple of rounds. Once you work out what he's doing, the punches only come at the same sort of speed and the same level of intensity. Nothing's ever really mixed up. And that's where tutelage is concerned. I asked you a question on the back of hearing what Terry said, rightfully said as well, mate. Is Mark Tibbs the teacher?
Well,
because
there's
these are things
teachers
that
in
can be
boxing,
taught.
isn't there? Right? Teachers of training. Julian McGowan is a teacher of training.
Yeah.
Robin Reed teaches pad seminars. These are people that know the game inside out. Mark Tibbs probably learnt off his dad, a bit old school. I don't know. He never lost a fight with Dylan White, so we can't be too critical of him.
But Johnny Fisher was doing things in there that he just should not have been doing. The way he had a bit of success with Allen was actually trying to push Dave back. Now, Dave can be bullied, and he does quit. And again, Tony Yoker had play with Dave Allen on the front foot. That is how you beat Dave Allen. If Mark Tibbs is worth anything, he should have known that the first 4 rounds against Allen in the fight prior, that he had success backing him up. He was throwing combinations. They were very unnatural combinations, but he was throwing punches in combinations. And I can only imagine that Johnny Fisher has acted upon instruction of Mark Tibbs for this rematch.
Right. This is
So
how I
who do you
look at it.
blame?
The actual fight, Fisher were trying to pepper him and stay on outside, wasn't it? But I
Yeah,
don't think there were enough power going into his shots to get Allen's respect. Do you know what I mean?
I do, but he ain't going to get that on the back foot because Dave Allen isn't stupid. Dave Allen knows how to slip and slide here and there. Again, let's not compare him to James Toney, but he knows how to slip and slide. He knows how to take care of himself. And what I was alluding to as well was they come at the same speed. There's no variation in speed. There's no variation in power. So, tap one up top and then bang, or vice versa, or feint, a little soft jab to the top, bang, pit of the stomach. There was nothing along those lines. Now, these are things that, again, not to speak too disparagingly upon Dave Allen, they do work against Dave Allen. He's tried and tested. He's someone who can be beat, who knows, who will accept defeat quite easily as well. If Johnny Fisher was worth anything, what we were told, and Mark Tibbs is the trainer that he's supposed to be, surely these are things that could have been implemented quite easily. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of hoopla about two sort of area level fighters. Really, it's the same sort of conversation that you and I had about Ben and Eubank. These are lads who are sort of British. Well, Ben's never proven at British level, but British level, let's say, for being complimentary. These two are area level.
Yeah.
It's testament to how bad the sport is,
Well, you'd
unfortunately.
have
But
if
yeah,
Fisher's area level, Allen's just done him, but Fisher were gifted an area belt, wasn't he, really? He didn't really beat anybody for it, did he, really?
no,
Did he?
default.
So, and Dave's there plodding around 19 stone, right, with belly hanging out, doing the same thing he were doing 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's only the gimmickness of it that's going to sell Dave now, because he's never in,
Yeah,
he's never in shape. He don't throw enough punches in a round.
no,
I just stood there taking punches, to 8, 9, 10 punches to throw one crude looping shot, handbag punch. That ain't boxing to me. And he's
no,
against
it's
a
not.
level rugby player. He's knocked him. And people have lost the shit going on about AJ, Dylan White, and Pulev. If he fights Pulev at WBA regular, I might as well turn pro.
I'm backing you.
No problem.
I'm
I'll get
backing
Mark
you, mate.
Tibbs to train me and Julian. uh,
Well, I mean, I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's just a sorry state of affair. The card was absolutely pony as well, mate. The card was atrocious. But I don't know what. I don't know. There's just nothing coming up, really. I mean, the Portman Road show is all right. That looks fairly deep, but yeah, there's not really a great deal to be smiling about boxing wise at the moment.
no, I see where you're coming from. What did you make of Hills jumping in the ring at the end? Eddie Hills! Hills, the Iceman! What do you think to him jumping in ring? After arriving with Fisher and leaving with Allen. What do you think to that?
So like when I was growing up, I'm sure you're from the same sort of estates as I am. You have like them whores, them hoes on your estate.
Yeah,
Now, if I turn up with a fresh pair of TNs on, I'm wearing 110s today. But if I'm wearing a fresh pair of TNs, that chicken head, she's probably gonna, when I was 14, 15, she'd probably be gonna come on with me or do what I want to do. But if one of my boys had turned up with a better pair of trainers on, she's going with them. That's what Eddie Hearn is, essentially. He's that hoe in the park who will go with who's got the better trainers on. He's no more than that.
Yeah.
For my money, I don't understand why Dave Allen would allow it. Like, this is a guy that done you out of a big packet with Warren. I would fuck Eddie Hearn off and I'd go straight across to Frank Warren and say, listen, Frank, what can you do with me? I want to make as much money as possible. He has all the heavyweights. He's the best matchmaker, as I've explained, and you know so well. He's by far and away going to make Dave Allen more money than Eddie Hearn will. Because I'm telling you now, if they lump Dave Allen with Hearn, his next fight, he's getting smoothed by someone. He's getting beat up by someone, and it'll be for a payday. Whereas with Frank, he might get a few testing-ish fights at a decent-ish level, and Frank will pay him well for these again decent-ish fights, and then he'll lump him into something like a David Adelaide or something where he'll get his head taken off.
Do you think
But he won't.
Adelaide and Allen's a good fight for Allen?
No, but
No.
both of them don't throw a lot of punches. But when Adelaide throws, it's obscene levels of power. It
Yeah.
isn't the type of, and I think Adelaide would be, he'd be giving confidence with David's lack of volume, and he would really tee off on Dave Allen. And Dave Allen doesn't punch like Fabio Wardley does. So I don't think that the fear of being caught and stopped would be there as much, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Why
Well,
do you think Dave Allen has a chance or a shot with
against who?
Adelaide? With Adelaide?
No, 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 no.
With,
Look, right. Dave knows what level he's at, right? Anybody trying to say he's British and European levels full of shit like Eddie Hills. Eddie's got him for a couple of fights now, so he's not going to say it's daft Dave Allen in it, and we don't know what Dave's going to turn up. He's going to come
mm,
out with stuff like, "Oh, Dave's professional, he's taking it serious and all that now," and Operation Rhino 28.4 or something. He's going to be getting it all that.
yeah,
He's beat a guy who fluked an area belt that were bought him, and he's
yeah,
knocked him out, and quite rightly so, because he's more experienced. And people have lost their shit.
mad. But again, it just shows and highlights the state of the game. Like, really bad, mate. I couldn't believe it. Like, the kind of exposure. It's great for any exposure in any endeavor, but I was just watching thinking, is this like serious? Like, is this, I can't believe that this is happening. Like, they're both not very good. Like, Dave Allen has been here before and been slapped about. Like, David Price couldn't buy a win. And they threw David Price in to get beat against Allen. He battered Dave Allen within an inch of his life. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a main event, and it's just fucking mad, mad. But again, I don't understand how Dave Allen could be that much of a sausage to jump on board with Eddie Hearn. He done him over no end. He threw him in with Luis Ortiz when nobody wanted to
Parked
touch
him up for
Ortiz.
years, right?
Like
Didn't
then,
want,
then
didn't want to know. Told him to go out and get some wins on board. So he went with Dennis, got 6 wins on board, and lost to Fraser Clark. Give Dennis a slice of cake, and then he's obviously got it mixed with these, and that's up to him what he does. Eddie's
yeah.
probably only person he really trusts, because I know for a fact that Dave wouldn't trust Bricktop or any of that lot. So Eddie is the only one. But after how Eddie and Barker treated him before, it's pretty embarrassing, I think.
Well, what did Barker do?
Well, Barker were like, "I'm not training you for next fight," but then when it looked like it were gonna be a big money fight like Dubois, he were like, nah, tell him you want more money for Dubois and I'll train you and we'll do this and do that. But Barker want training him after the performance before. I think it was a prize fight, wasn't it? Big
He's
trouble.
Bumlick personified Barker. Darren Bumlick Barker, mate. I've never seen such a. He's just shite. Like, he's just an arselick. Like, proper bum licking Barker, mate. I can't say. Honestly, listening to him and Adam Smith on commentary is. I thought the zone was meant to be innovative, new, slick. Why'd you bring Adam Smith on? And why'd you have a matchroom mushroom in Darren Barker bum licking any matchroom fighters, and Adam Smith with the same shit lines that he used for 20 years on Sky Sports? Is there nobody new? Is there nothing new? Is this? Is it? I don't know. I don't know whether I'm being overly harsh or not, but it's just bollocks, mate. Bollocks. I actually woke up in a positive mood as well, by the way. I'm not even miserable today, but yeah, just bollocks, mate.
Yeah, not good, is it, mate?
You'd be good on commentary, you know.
I've knocked it back on a big run off of me. I said, no, I'll give it to Terry. Because
Yeah, Tevye would be good.
I'd say Terry is good. He's done a few gigs for fighters on it, but I'd just say something that's controversial, get Dennis in trouble probably. So I said, no, I don't want to do it. And it ain't my scene that I like to go and get out my brains and watch the fights. I don't like to go and work and hang around dressing rooms to film people. It's a load of shit.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Prefer to get an opinion on it day after or a couple of days after, but it is what it is. I couldn't be a camera jockey. I mean, look at Frotch there, right? Hanging around shows, hoping for 5 minutes with certain fighters and that. I'm like, what are you? I'm thinking to myself, what is he doing? What is he doing? What is Frotch
His
hanging
comments are
around
bad
shows,
now.
hoping to get 5 minutes with this guy or 10 minutes with that guy? What on earth is he doing?
His comments are bad, you know.
See, that
Like,
serves him right, doesn't it? Shouldn't be
yeah,
two
it
faced.
does.
Shouldn't be two
Yeah,
faced.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
Oh, it is what it is. Would you see Solomon Dakros and Fisher as a way back for Fisher, or do you think even Solomon Dakros has got too much for Fisher? Because they were actually talking Fisher Wardley this time last year, weren't we? Imagine
That's
Fisher
just,
Wardley.
I don't want him.
Where would he end up? Fisher, he'd end up on Button Moon, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it would end up in a really bad way. Dakers should beat Fisher. Dakers is well schooled. He got caught with a bomb, you know, which anyone can. But Dakers is well schooled. Dakers will out jab him, and that's kind of Dakers' route to victory in it. If he can out jab you, which he would. One sec, sorry, mate, someone's belling me. Yeah, he'll beat Fisher. That's a comfortable win. That I just don't really I'm not. Again, I don't want to sound too rude on Fisher. He seems like a decentish lad. I mean, all the mad assing and telling IFL TV how fucking all he want to do is make my family proud and repeating himself fucking 7 times. It's just a bit fucking bit cringe, but I'm just not really interested. I want to watch boxers who are very, very good, very well schooled. I don't want to watch Johnny Fish. I don't want to watch Solomon Day because I have from
Yeah.
Frankfurt. He's got no fucking power. But, you know, be interesting to see what they do with Dave Allen next.
Well, Dave Allen's going to want pain now coming off back of that. They're going to let Eddie big it up. If he fights Dylan White, that means the Fisher rematch ain't happening, the trilogy. If he
Mm,
fights Dylan White, right? But why would
yeah.
they make the trilogy and give Alan the contract and blah blah blah, and then now they don't want to take it? It's because it's a knockout like that. Because they maybe thought it were going to go to points. So why make it in the first place? It's a bit like Joshua and Dubois. They went mad for that rematch clause. Then when he got put on Button Moon, they didn't take it, did they?
Yeah, we'll stay clear of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way they can. I mean, if Fisher's family or anything that we're fucking told they are, it can't be like encouraging the boy to rematch someone who's just knocked him face first, please avoid that, Johnny Fisher. Please avoid that. If your dad's telling you that you can do it, mate, I'm one of the Essex boys, that means fuck all, mate. You will get put face first within 2 rounds if you fight Dave Allen again. That is 2 levels above what you're capable of competing at. If he does want to learn how to box, which I've no doubt he does, mate, then I don't know, go elsewhere, go to another trainer, learn your craft a little bit more, rather than being thrusted into the decent level of competition. Go and learn properly. Go and spar with every man and his dog. Go missing for a year. Learn your craft properly. I don't know.
Hey,
Just I don't.
listen,
I
Elmer
just.
could come back, Ryan. He could come back and go on a big run. We don't know, do we?
I think we know that that's not possible,
Well,
but
it ain't going to happen, like, but you never know. I
yeah,
mean, look at the Summit run. Look at that run Lee Wood went on after Gavin McDonnell put him to kip.
yeah. But Lee Wood was actually a decent boxer, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I thought he was good. He just seemed to have confidence issues, if anything. Lee Wood prior to going on the run. Did I tell you what? Actually, that was a good fight. Him and Kakachi. If you watched it, I'm sure you did.
Kakachi.
Yeah, Wood and Kakachi it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I seen it. What did you make of it?
I thought it was really good. I thought both of them were decent. Lee Wood was slightly off the pace, but Kakachi's class, mate. I mean, I'm sure he turned pro with Ricky Hatton years ago, so I used to keep my eye open for him. And he's a really good boxer, him.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Yeah. He's good. But Lee Wood was there the whole fight. He was just a little bit off the pace, but I think what is he, 36?
Yeah, he's knocking on a bit now, Wood, isn't he?
He's been in some wars as well, hasn't he? So, yeah, it was a good fight, that.
What do you think to his poodle perm?
It's mad, isn't it? I always think to myself, mate, any man with a perm or a looped earring, you know, questions need to be asked. But yeah, he proved himself a man, in fairness to him, in respect with the perm. But yeah, crazy, mate.
Yeah, it
Well,
sure.
have you ever had a perm, Parky?
Yeah, I had a perm in late 80s with a mullet. It were a Keegan special. Kevin
King
Keegan
Kev,
special.
King Kev. Yeah.
Josh Waddington. Lee Wood, there's a bit of talk about them getting it on. Is that a pension fight, Ryan?
Yeah, I think both of them deserve it as well. The first fight was a decent fight. Waddington was doing well as well, the first fight, until he got cracked. But yeah, I think both of them deserve it. If
Yeah.
I'm open, both of them have served the sport well. They've both given their sets of fans great nights, great evenings. So yeah, I think both of them deserve it, mate. I don't think it's a main event, but it will be. I don't know where they'd have it though. Be
Right.
interesting. Why do you agree with that fight? Do you think that's a fight that should be made on that?
No, they're both shot to shit. They're old men for that weight. They're old men,
Yeah,
right? Old men, right? And they've earned enough. But when you've got fighters like that hanging around the sport in that weight division, like bad smells, it stimulates, stops the growth, doesn't it, or whatever they call it, of the next
yeah,
generation in that weight. They're both made dough. They're both set up for life financially. Piss off. That's what I say. Don't embarrass yourselves in the sport when you're shot to death, hanging around like a bad smell, like Dylan
yeah.
White and the rest of them. Are you telling me Dave Allen's in shape? It's like he's
Oh,
giving up. £265, right? I don't want to hear all that. Well, we had to have a bit of weight on to absorb body
body
shots.
shots.
Fisher never
Yeah.
threw a body shot in first round hardly once, did he?
Not that I caught for. Dave Allen was going to the body well though.
Well, look, listen, it's a bit like other trainers, in it, when they go 6 rounds or 8 rounds with a fight, they say, "Oh, I thought you were going to knock him out and you were going to make a statement." They go, "Oh, we needed rounds in." Well, listen, you can get the rounds in sparring if you want to get your
Mm,
fitness levels up, get the rounds and get your timing. You get that in sparring. You
yeah.
don't go into a fight to get rounds in. If you can knack them and knock them out early, you do because you don't get paid for overtime. And it's a bit
Mm.
like Rhino with his 19 stone. We needed a bit of weight to absorb body shots. Piss off. You've been told to say that by Jamie Moore.
I just couldn't imagine more letting him
Get
slack
him
off
think that
though.
way. Well, they've
No,
got
not
an
that.
excuse for everything, haven't they, that shower?
Well, I like more. I like Nigel Travis, so I just can't imagine him letting him get, not train and not work hard. The only thing I can assume is that which is they've touched on, is that his diet's a bit out of control. But do you really turn up in that bad a condition if you're training hard? I don't know, but he got the win, didn't he? He got the win, and it was a crazy knockout. So on to the next for Dave Allen.
Yeah, on to the next one for the Rhino. Okay then, kid, you want to go on to part two?
Yeah, of course,
See you
man.
on
I'll
part
jump on
two.
that. Top man.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Don't forget to hit the notification button below. That way, and the subscribe button, and that way you get your pocket fix straight to your phone. Booyaka.